I just want to welcome you all here and thank you very much for taking time out of your day to join us. We think this discussion is really important and really timely, and focusing on rail transportation and rail safety seems to be large, not just in the freight space but in the passenger space, and so we've assembled a great panel here to talk about that. And without further ado, I'll turn it over to AII's Chairman and CEO, Brigham McCown.
Our goal is to recalibrate all stakeholders and call for an expanded focus on prevention as our first line of defense. Collaborative efforts to bring together diverse stakeholders aimed at utilizing innovation to drive safety decisions in order to identify, analyze, model, predict, and prevent incidents should be our watchword, and prevention should be our shield. With that, I'd like to introduce our moderator for the discussion, Jason Forney, the editor of Argus Rail Business.
Right now our infrastructure has a grade of C+. Does anybody have ideas as ways to improve on that?
It's going to come down to really targeting the investments precisely at a local level. Where are the pinch points, whether it be Chicago or elsewhere, or in the middle of an intermodal transfer facility somewhere? Where are we going to target these investments, and then how are we going to govern that adequately at a federal, state, and local level between, again, the public and private sector, and getting all of these stakeholders together to kind of really address the issues or even quantify them.
The new rules call for across the board reduction of speed for high hazard flammable trains, and that's also been recognized by the railroads as a bit of a setback for them, because they already have other ways to govern speed in terms of geometry and urban density and condition of the track that they already apply pretty rigorously. And so, because track conditions are so important, I think you'll see railroads making those investments, because that's really the foundation of the railroad system.
As far as the PTC extension, can anybody comment on the implications of that, and whether, if anyone has an opinion as to whether it should be extended or should they hold their feet to the fire on that deadline?
We recognize the need for an extension, but we think it should not be a blanket 5-year extension. It should be case by case, handled by the FRA, and there should be benchmarks involved in order to ensure that the work is being done. I think 3 years is a good compromise.
So the new tank car rules that were issued in May have created some controversy. On the petroleum side, how do you see this, the tank car standard? Do you think there's changes that should be made, or did they hit the mark on the regulation that is currently out?
When the Canadian Transportation Research Board, similar to their NTSB, came out with the analysis, there were 18 factors that they felt led to the tragedy. 17 of them had nothing to do with tank cars. It had to do with safety culture, safety practices, track issues, etc. The tank car issue was only one of 18. And yet, the focus really for the last 2 years has been on tank cars.
Sure, as David said, the past few years that there's been a significant focus on that, but ultimately, a tank car could potentially lessen the effects of a derailment, but it's not going to prevent a derailment. And so from our perspective, I think we need to, if our ultimate goal is to help prevent these incidents, we really need to focus on the root causes